interesting selections ahead of you tonight, I guess, John. Ben McGlynn and Adam Goods. What's the plan?
Yeah, it's. We'll confirm those after training, but at this stage, probably Adam, if everything went okay at training and we didn't suffer any injuries, he'd probably play reserves this week, which we had a discussion yesterday about playing him sub again this weekend, and he suggested he might be better off playing reserves rather than playing sub again this weekend to get some match fitness and to make sure that he's able to get some good quality game time under his belt. So that's the challenge we've got with the sub rule. Interesting, Luke Beveridge mentioned it last week, and I know the AFL are reviewing it, and it probably just needs to be looked at a bit. It's he's obviously a champion of the game that feels as though he needs to get some match fitness and some form in the reserves, probably rather than lining up another week in the sub rule.
How did you feel about, he's a club champion and running out in the reserves?
Well, I suggested he was going to be sub this week when we had a discussion about it, and he said, well, I might be better off playing reserves to make sure that I can play good quality game time, get 100 minutes under my belt. He said, obviously you don't know as the sub whether you come on at what particular point in the game, whether it was like last week where you get the final 15 minutes or you need to come on a bit earlier. But we were more than happy for him to play the sub role again, but he suggested that playing reserves, get some quality game time, get some form and fitness back, and being able to push for senior selection after that's probably the way to go.
Have you had, given that the scenario and he's close to the end of his career, have you had that discussion yet about potentially finishing up?
No, we want him to keep going, and he's keen to keep going. And as we sit here at the moment, we think he's still got a valuable role to play for us this year because he finished the season off last year pretty strongly, and we're only at round 3. There's a lot of football to go, and we know that things can change really quickly as far as injury and form, and you've got to be mindful of that, and we're certainly mindful of that, and so is Adam, that things can change in a heartbeat, and those opportunities come up when you least expect them, and we want him playing well and in good form to be able to grab those opportunities when they do present themselves.
Did it come as a shock, John, that he actually said that he wanted to play?
Well, when you know Adam, it's he's a pretty balanced person as far as where he sees things, and just being able to understand the team where it sits and some of the things that he wants to do himself to be able to make sure he's playing the best football he can. And he's pretty measured and pretty balanced in most things he does, and very much team orientated, and wants to play whatever role he can do that the team requires him to play. And he's got a very well-rounded view on that.
John,
John, element of dummy spitting, like some players would say, may as well throw him in reserves, but obviously he's not.
Oh no, that wasn't the conversation we had at all. It was like, we were happy to play him this week, and but I certainly understood where he was coming from as far as just getting some game time and some quality football under his belt. We still think he can play the sub role for us this year. We still think he can play in our 21 this year, and will. But at this point in time, he felt as though that a good run and a good hit out would be best for him, and that's probably tends to be the way he looks at things. Pretty much, he's pretty measured and understood what he wants to do to give himself the best possible chance of playing the best football.
Does he see himself? Does he see himself right now in the best 22, or does he feel like he has to go back to show some real form to say he's definitely in the best 22?
Well, I mean, he still thinks he can be in our best 22, and as it sits at the moment, though, he understands he's got a bit of form and fitness to work through, and that happens with a lot of players. It just so happens that he's one of the greats of the game, but he doesn't separate himself as far as that's concerned. He understands that he can, he's got to work through those things, and that's the best possible way that he thought he could do it this week. But things change really quickly too in this game. We know that form changes quickly, fitness changes quickly, injuries happen quickly, things change really quickly, and so he needs to be, and he's mindful of being in the best possible shape he can be when that happens.
The Giants yesterday were basically discussing the idea that they expect to win these games now against you blokes. How does that sit with you?
Oh, I expect them to say that.
Do you expect that they believe it?
Yes.
Have you seen, John, over the last couple of years, obviously they had a talented list, talented young players, but have you seen their evolution as in regards to their pressure style footy and
Oh,
tactics?
they're a hard team. They're not only a really talented team now. I think if you just look at the Giants and say they're just talent, you're getting the wrong impression of them. They're talented, but they're extremely hard. They've got some great senior players now in that team that have been leading the way, and their evolution of their younger kids coming through has been to play hard football, hard running football, and hard at the ball football and pressure football, and they're a good team. They're a really good team, and we certainly respect their ability to play 4 quarters of hard pressure football, and we'll have to play well, and we don't underestimate them at all.
2 from 2 to start this season, a little bit different to last year. You must be happy with that.
Yeah, it's certainly the form we thought. Our first quarter against Essendon probably wasn't great, but then we think after that it's been pretty consistent, and we were able to lift another level last week, and we need to keep going with that. You can't flirt with it. You can't flirt with your form at all. You need to be making sure that you work hard at it every week, and we feel as though the players in our team at the moment are across the board are consistently working both sides of the ball and in the contested situation, and that's what we want, and that's what the players demand of each other, and that's what we've got to keep pushing.
A bit of sibling rivalry in the Shaw brothers. They played against each other down in Canberra, and there was a hip and shoulder there at one stage, and maybe a bit of lip. There's certainly no shortage of bit of talk in the Shaw clan. So I'd imagine there's still some more talk to be had this weekend. I'd imagine they're not the shrinking violet types, so but they enjoy their footy. They've got a good balance, both of them, the whole Shaw family. They've got a good balance and enjoying their football and being serious and being competitive when required, and I'm sure both boys will get the balance right this week. How good for the game in Sydney is it that GWS is starting to hit its straps now, given the sort of financial woes they seem to have experienced over the last couple of years?
Yeah, well, I think that they've come along pretty quickly, and they've come along through a number of different reasons, but they've structured their list really well, and they're playing the sort of football they know gives them the best possible chance. And we've seen the evolution of them pretty close hand, obviously, and we've been saying for a couple of years that they're a good team, and the addition of the Patful over the summer, and obviously Mummy's playing well, and Griffin, along with Shaw and these guys, just adds to that depth of quality in their team, and helps those younger kids enormously who are coming through, are now grown into men and playing really fierce football.
Is Benny McGlynn front of that queue to replace Adam, John?
He's around about. We've just got to make a decision whether he plays this week in our senior team or not, and we'll make that call after training, depending upon a few things we've got to get through with training. So we'll make that call this afternoon. He played his first game last week and got through pretty well, and so he's not far away. And whether it's this week or next week, we'll make that decision after training. But we know he's a quality runner and a really hard nut, which certainly helps his cause.
Is he in a position, did he pull up well enough to play a full game if he has to, and with that running and stuff?
We pulled up well, which is good. It's just a matter of, and we need to be measured in that decision as well, and we will after training make that decision based upon the team, what it looks like, what his best preparation looks like for this week and also for the season ahead, and we'll make that decision after we've got all the facts, and all the facts are available after training.
Does it show the calibre of an athlete of Adam Goods that he puts the team first over his individual needs?
Oh, he's always done that. It's not surprising. But he's pretty matter of fact. I mean, his view of it is what it is, and I'll work hard and get myself right and get back in the senior team. And he's pretty matter of fact about it with that. And we've had a good discussion about it yesterday and again this morning, and that's how he sees it, and he'll work hard and do the things he has to do to get himself back in the senior team. It's things change quickly. I've said it a number of times, and I'll keep saying it. And he's confident in his own ability to get back and contribute to the team.
It comes at a time, John, when the injury cupboard is basically bare, isn't it? It's a nice position to be.
Well, and that doesn't happen too often either. It's we know that changes really quickly as well, and we understand that, but we have got a list at the moment that's across the board. Most players are playing, which is a good sign. But once again, the crash and bash of a season, that changes, and that's why it's important that every player on our list is doing the best they can to push into the senior team, because when those chances become available, you need to be in the best possible form to grab them, and that's what we're after.